Hey everyone, this is Tracy with Color Me This. We're on episode 205 of the Daily Color. One last day in the special edition, which is the Magical Worlds coloring book, a new coloring book by Johanna Basford. We are finishing up this owl. It's our third day on the body, and I am inspired to finish up the feathers. I do not think I will get the talons and the legs, but we will see. So I have all 7 colors that I have been playing with for the last 2 days ready to go, and we are going to finish our patterns, and I am going to start with the Van Dyke brown that I introduced. I do have one quick adjustment to make. I don't know how it happened, but my cord fell out of my little keeper, and I don't like having this cord hang down around my arm. So this is me fixing it. You can see it jiggling a little bit. Ah, there we go. So let us see. I have the natural light. I am finally coloring earlier today rather than later. And there we go. It is a sunny day, so the light is going to be brighter than it has been. I think the last 2 days of filming, maybe even Saturday's filming, was at night. So this is the Van Dyke brown that I introduced yesterday for the head, around the eyes, and around the front chest feathers. And I'm just going from dark to light on these 2 rows. There's the 3 rows, I guess. They are long. I am going to do like an inversion. The first and third rows will be dark to light, and the middle row is going to be light to dark. I hope everybody's week is going well. I finally had time today after a pretty exciting morning at Walmart, which I will share the Walmart story in a minute. But I got a bunch of sign-ups for my in-person coloring group in the community. I do an email. I call it the coloring group newsletter because I like to include a little bit about what's going on in my coloring world with samples of pages I have colored. And so I needed to send out an introduction to the new folks. So that was pretty fun to get that done. I think this fall, my group mail list has doubled in size, which is very exciting. So we have those 2. Now we're going to break into the oranges. So Venetian red was the color I finished. What I really like to do with this color combo is take this dark yellowed orange, and glaze it over the top, and then continue it on so that where I have softened the Venetian red turns into a lovely fall orange color. See how that just looks so nice. Love it. I've probably already shared that fall, for some reason, is one of my favorite seasons, and that historically I would be traveling. The first week of October was always the final grand finale horse show in eastern Washington, so I would be driving over the pass, and I can't tell you how many times I'm in a motorhome pulling horses over Highway 2, and one time it was like a blizzard. And of course, when we left to go to the show the Thursday before, it was sunny. By Sunday, it was the blizzard. And I'm just getting a lighter yellow here. One time I had to follow the snowplow. Crazy. And when we got home, there was all this ice stuck to the trailer, like under the rims in the motorhome. And oh, the crazy things that I did when I was young. No fear. Craziness. So, this morning, it was Thanksgiving shopping at Walmart Day. My husband is a Thanksgiving person. That is his holiday. And we have always hosted since we, even in our second home, our first home was very small. So there was not a lot of volunteering for family social gatherings and in that home. But in house number 2 and house number 3, we hosted Thanksgiving. And the house number 3, which was the biggest house we've owned, and we will never own a house that big again, we would have 3 tables set up in the living room, and there were 25 people there. Kids, grandkids, everybody. And it was a feast. It was a big deal to me to have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner where everybody sits down. We couldn't all sit at the same table, but we were all in the same room. We said grace. It was not the come and go smorgasbord buffet type eating that I had grown up with, where with the bigger side of the family. And so even when we traveled the first year or two, we would buy deli meat because we didn't have an oven to cook a turkey, buy thick sliced meat. But we still would make the fancy fixins and mashed potatoes, and we really like Costco's pumpkin pies. Though traveling, we weren't always near a Costco, so we had to substitute for other pie brands. Now we're back to living near a Costco, and we had bought some marine batteries for the RV 2 years ago, so we had the cheapest price by far that paid for the membership and then some was buying them from Costco. So I'm just playing with the colors, getting a nice blend going on the light to dark, dark to light. I'm not having this light to dark go as dark, but I think I will make this corner go dark. This is the Van Dyke brown. So yes, my husband had been bugging me, and he's very, very much wanting the Costco pies. So one of the very first questions he asked my mom was, "Hey, do you still have a Costco membership?" Because we let ours expire after the first year. I think last year it was still good until this February, but we did not re-up it. So he has pestered me so many times. I said, let's go get the turkey. And since we now are going to have my parents over, we get to get a little bit bigger one. So we got a 20-pounder. Bought all the fixins so he can be happy and be prepared. He's a little concerned because we might be having a hurricane coming at later this week or maybe early next week. There might be some hurricane action. It's Hurricane Sarah if it turns into a hurricane. So there's a beautiful, colorful feather. I keep wanting to say leaf. And then I'm going to repeat these. I think because of time, I would like to work on some of the other patterns and save these 3 because I could do those like homework, just like the leaves. So I am going to now pick not the darkest. This is burnt umber. It has a little bit of a red tone to it. I see I actually started to do a little bit with it the first day. I've got a couple of lines of color down. And my mock-up does not include the Van Dyke brown. And I think I will be going in to all of these feathers and I will darken them in the shadows. So we got everything we needed for Thanksgiving, so that makes us happy. That just means we used to cook 3 turkeys. He would start cooking the first turkey at like 1 a.m. and he would cook all 3 turkeys. We only had 1 oven. Later years, my mom would cook a turkey and we would cook 2. Sometimes there were years when we would save one and cook, we would let the leftovers, everybody would get leftovers, little care packages, and then we would cook yet another turkey so we could have our leftovers. So here we are at another Thanksgiving. They just keep coming, year after year. Relentless. I have my very meager decorations, which are all just simple and soft colors because I live in a tropical part of town in Florida. It's very tropical here. Venetian red. I opted, and my living room is teal and navy blue and beige. I opted for just a few soft colored items. So this is why I am enjoying coloring this owl in traditional autumnal colors, because here where I live now, I don't get to enjoy a lot of this color palette, because everything here is more tropically watercolor, blues to tans. It's very pretty, but it just isn't the vibrant fall colors I am used to seeing. Alright, so we're going to come down here with the Venetian red. I am probably going to just leave these feathers pretty soft at the bottom. I will finish burnishing them eventually with the beige. We'll just see how much time we have, if I can go back and really fix all of the layers up for you. The next row is going to be, I think, some of these I did not write notes either. This open, it does not have any detail. I am actually going to do a base of this light yellow. I think, yep, it's the lightest yellow. Canary yellow. Just soft though. Okay, and then I am going to take the burnt umber, which is that slightly reddish brown, and I'm just going to do some very soft, subtle swirls. One of the things I did back in the day with my job is I would always take the week of Thanksgiving off, but be on call, which is kind of a tricksy thing because it means I didn't have to take any vacation time. So I would, very rarely would I get stuck taking care of, I was on the web team, so it would be like website issues, or let's say there was some sort of patching, something going on that I had to be a part of. So it was an easy week. I would often even do this during Christmas week if need be. Toward the end I didn't like to do that. I liked to have my birthday is right before Christmas. So the idea was that I would work like between Christmas and New Year. Be on call. It's kind of bright, isn't it? Let's see if this beige knocks it back just a little bit. Beige is our lightest color. We're going to just let that be. I can always erase some of that bright if I need to. One of the things I love most about pencils is the erasing. Now I'm moving on to some bright feathers. We're going to do yellowed orange. This is the darkest orange before the transition to the Venetian red. So now I'm thinking about all of my different fall and winter vacations. The other thing we would do in September was when we would do our vacation, because the children are back in school. So vacation, traditional vacation at like national parks, which is where we loved to go, was to the Midwest national parks. So we would do that after September, like the first, second week of September, and a lot of those parks will close the end of September. So you kind of end up going to these places and it's like a ghost town. I'm going to do a little bit of the burnt umber up here at the top for shadows, and then extend the Venetian red down a little bit more. I'm going to also use the Venetian red as the shadow for this yellow. And then one of the things I did buy this year, and Hub already noticed, because he's the shopper, he says, wow, Walmart is just loading up with holiday stuff, Christmas stuff everywhere. So in the middle of the aisles where they put the seasonal, like the stuffing and the marshmallows, and they have in the middle, all the different cookies that you can make and pie filling, everything. They have the cutest sprinkles, like decorations for cookies, and they have salted caramel hot chocolate doodads. So I bought some. And Hub had already bought some double chocolate hot chocolate, which is funny because we don't drink hot things here as a rule because it's so warm already. There will be mornings where it will get down into the low 40s. It'll be early next year when we see that. It got really cold. I even have a screenshot of December 29th, 2022. It was 29 degrees in the AM. All right, so we're moving along. I'm going to go to this ridge of feathers, and that one is going to be the Van Dyke. I've got a lot of warm colors happening, so now I need some cool colors to balance it all out. And I will mix in a little bit of the burnt umber down toward the bottom. Or not. I might just kind of leave that for the moment. We'll see when I'm all done with all of these feathers what I need to do, if anything, any adjusting to balance everything out. So I am going to move to this set, the long set. There's 2 long sets. Well, that guy was long. I'm going to be very soft with this color. And this is definitely going to have some of that little bit redder brown. And I will mix those 2 together. I really appreciate all of your comments. I have Dan from Italy who comments often and has decided that she needs to name the bird, the owl. We'll see what name she comes up with. She's thinking of an appropriate name. Okay, so that is the start, and now I've got the burnt umber. And then I plan to this is coming out a little darker than my copy paper. Again, copy paper. Some pencils, these pencils go really good. They actually like the tooth. They get a lot of vibrancy. And they are like half smushers. They smush pretty well, not as smushy as Prismacolors. Oh, I have a quick conversion chart update. I have finally unpacked. If you just had seen the bomb that was in my craft area, it is now all cleaned up. I have my big work surface clear. So I have over on it the conversion chart for the Starjoy Golds. For people who want to use the Starjoy Golds for all of the many Prismacolor tutorials, color alongs, etc. So I have finalized my colors. I have taped them down on the master, and it's sitting on the copier so that I can scan them in and clean up the sheet so I can do my final walkthrough video. I was able to switch and find a lot more matches. It helped to take a break from it, and then I set it up and spent some time with it today. And I think I want to go in dark now with this. There we go. This is the burnt umber. It has a little bit, it's not as dark as this color over on the left. Fan of feathers. While working on the conversion chart, I did decide, since I've got the room mostly cleaned up, I have a new area. I will be doing a video that is all of my coloring pages and books out in the open. So it's easier for me. I told you I had lost the bridle, and when I bury it underneath something vertically, it's really hard to know how deep to go to find it. So I am going to add a little bit redder. This dark gray color is kind of flat, so I'm just going to add a little bit of this burnt umber. Dark umber? Burnt. Oh, and I'm going to pause because Hub just came home.
Party's over.
Alright, I am back. I don't know how colorists who do YouTube and have families and kids, how they manage to keep their, it seems, everybody's able to keep their personal stuff out. And maybe they just cut it out so that there's just a blip where it changes from when they have to go away and they come back. I just always feel inclined to declare what's happening, and maybe I don't need to do that. What do you guys think? Does it bother you when I have to say, oh, Hub's home, gotta go get him settled? I am pretty sure that everybody else clips it. It just takes more time, the more editing I have to do, so I would rather not have to edit if I can. Alright, so we're working on this little under feather here. Let's see what's going on here. I just want to make sure we're all focused. I think the Venetian red to this color is so pretty. Pretty, pretty. So though I've made that a very light color, it actually is in shadow. So I'm going to add some shadow. I do not have this shadow on my mock-up. Right, now we've got our vertical lines. Vertical lines are I wanted to do these in actual like triangle. Trying to think of interesting patterns. And thinking outside the box. They look very triangular, so I'm softening the end. I don't want it to look so geometric. Okay, I'm going to leave that. And then we're going back to second to lightest yellow, which look at how fat that is. I'm going to sharpen it. It's very dull. Now this is the slightly darker. Now I'm going to have to sharpen that too. This might be starting something. Yep, these lines are getting thin. So this is the Van Dyke. I do not have this on the... I'm going to make an illusion of these short feathers being over the top. Like that. Same with this set of feathers here is over the top. Okay. Next layer is going to be Venetian red. It is possible with this color combo, depending on how many other autumn colorings I want to get to. I like this blend a lot, and I might try to do it with other pencils. I've got the beige. I want to see what happens when I mix these two. I think it turns somewhat orangey. I want to brighten that up a little bit. So I'm going with the blend color that I use, yellowed orange, softly. I want it a little bit brighter. Yeah, if you're using this color combo and you find the beige makes it too flat, kind of flattens the tone, you can always glaze any of these yellower tones over the top. This is going to be the full meal deal. All colors. Oops, that's the wrong color. So this was supposed to be up here. Doing little shadows. I want these all to look like they're layered one on top of the other. And I am achieving that by adding the dark shadow with the Van Dyke brown. Okay. Back to my blend here. I am now using the burnt umber. I keep calling this dark umber. Burnt umber. Okay, gonna transition to the Venetian red. Run that along the top. And then using our yellowed orange. Working backwards now, back to Venetian red. See that burnishing? Upward to the burnt umber. We are almost there. I haven't even checked the time. I did remember to keep track of my time the first time, so I know how much in total I should be doing for this last bit. All right, I am going to start on the final tail feathers. the fan of tail feathers. This is the Van Dyke brown. It's a very gray brown. Okay, I'm going to work on some texture. We'll see how well I do at this. These are my shadow lines. That feather is on top of that, and it cascades down. So this feather is underneath all of the rest of them. So my shadow line is all on the one side, always on the left. I hope that that is something you can see. Trying to make sure that the right side of the feathers are the lighter and are the shadow. On the right is the shadow. On the left should be the lightest part of the feather. I want to add a little bit burnt umber, just kind of randomly give it a little warmth here and there in the spirit of fall colors. These feathers, I guess, are the most realistic looking feathers of all of them, except for those. All right, so I believe we have just enough time. So this set of feathers somewhat mimics this set. I have not added any of the beige, but I do want to try to get, I want it to all look colored at least, even if we don't have the final beige glaze over the top of the white spaces. All right, so let me do a quick coloring of these leaves. Leaves, I keep calling them leaves. They are feathers. I'm going to color that in right now. Lightest yellow. It's going to go in the middle. I'm getting very quiet. Oh, I think that's supposed to be all. I am totally okay with a little bit of the orange here and there. Grabbing the Van Dyke for a nice dark shadow. A little fat there. All right, now I need to warm up these ends. All right, let's see. How are we doing? We are at 46 minutes, and all that's left is a little cleanup. Let's see if I can get is his whole head in? I think it is. He's a little crooked, but I might go one more minute because I want to warm up. We're going to do all of these with the beige. Thank you all for bearing with me. I try not to go long. There are weeks where, in order to stay on target, I have to go a little longer. So that's warmed up. This is going to get warmed up. This is just a wonderful burnishing color for a fall palette. All right, and then we have these fun. These should really brighten up. And this is, I would call, medium to heavy. Medium/heavy. And voila, one fall owl done. I see one last bit that needs to be colored, and that is this right here needs to be colored. You will notice the little bearding. That is not colored, that is white. I might even just leave it. Well, there you have it. Coloring a very elaborate autumnal owl is done. And then I just owe you guys leaves so that we can, leaves in the talons for a reveal at the weekly review. Weekly review. I am having speaking problems today. I apologize. So, tomorrow, we're going to be moving back on over to our other two books. I'm not sure which book yet it will be. It'll either be the Small Victories, which we're moving on to pages, a house page. Wow. Some days, I tell you. So we have there's 4 houses, I believe, and I did locate my set rotation, and the next will be the macarons, Castle Art macarons, and then after that is the soft touch. I think it's so funny how the random generator sometimes picks the same brand for repeats one after the other. And then we also are working on Black Widow in Romantic Country, and I haven't decided yet which one I'm going to do. It will be a surprise, and I hope I will see you all tomorrow. Do all the YouTube things, like, share, comment, consider subscribing, and I will see you then.